why did my mom tell me to go to Machu Picchu? Nothing really happened here.
I'm researching the structures.
Yeah.
You know, so as you go to Machu Picchu and the surrounding region, Ollantaytambo, Sacsayhuaman, and all these other places, you begin to see megalithic stones.
Can you pull up the pictures? Because it's one of the most beautiful, lost cities in the world. On the list of lost cities, I think it's number one. And maybe Grande Jaguar in Tikal in Guatemala is one of them. There's a few of them, but this is one of. Just go to images, Rob. It's beautiful.
Tikal is amazing.
Tikal is amazing. Yes.
And so Machu Picchu struck me because, first of all, it's a very arid place. When you talk about the ability to build an entire sustainable civilization that high up, 11, 12,000 feet above sea level, lack of oxygen, to be able to learn how to build those plateaus and cultivate quinoa, but you also need other food as well. It's just very hard living if you don't really understand what you're doing or how to work the land properly. These people had learned and mastered how to work the land in this very dry, arid place. And what's interesting is a lot of those mountains that are surrounding Machu Picchu, when you're there in person, you begin to look at them, you begin to see that way high up, there's carvings in the sides of the mountains' faces that have been carved. The locals say that these are the beings that came down from the heavens that helped build this fortress. All right, so that's pretty amazing. There's a lot of faces carved all throughout the area. And then, at Ollantaytambo, when you look at the gigantic stones, you find out that they were from another mountain. And to get to that other mountain, you have to travel about close to, because you have to, travail the land. You're talking about almost 300, 400 miles, depending on the angle you take to get there, to get to the quarry. And now that's brought back and built on a mountain fortress on the other side. How did they get them harvested out of the mountain? How did they bring them down the mountain? How did they bring them up to the top of another mountain and build them in an interlocking way where the stones are all individually made to fit together, interlocking with no mortar, and they're also earthquake-proof. That's crazy technology.
Did you come up with a conclusion? Is there anything that the locals believe in? Is there anything you saw with scientists or others who study these kinds of archaeologists to say this is what they found?
The homegrown guides and the homegrown archaeologists that aren't afraid to talk say that these fortresses were built in a day and a night by the beings that came from heaven.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.